going on, you beautiful peeps? Training my clients through injuries. I just had a client that is struggling with a knee injury, struggling with some knee pain. They might even need surgery, but we still hit legs. Okay, and I know that sounds crazy, but this is what we did. And if you're struggling with an injury, these are some things that you can do to work through that. So the first thing is, we paid attention to pain, and that's the most important. Pain is the body's natural signal that something's wrong, right? Very simple, very understandable, yet myself and you and everybody ignores pain in different moments, right? Especially us as men, we're particularly good at this, I'd say, right? But women as well, of course. We just do it in different ways, but we ignore our body's natural signal that something's wrong, right? And especially in the gym, right? Because I know if you're like me, you hate injuries and you don't want to stop. I want to work out. My elbow's sore, I'm gonna hit triceps anyway. Right? Great idea, right? No, it's a bad idea. Pay attention to pain. So he's having knee pain. So the heavy leg day we were going to hit, obviously that changes immediately, because we're not going to go throw 300 pounds on a leg press and try to get it done when his knee hurts, right? That would be the dumbest thing ever. That would be ego lifting, and it would just be dumb lifting, right? It's just not a smart thing to do. But what did we do? We modified things. We wanted to test how that quad and how that knee is doing. And this is an ongoing thing that he's had surgery before in the past. So this isn't like I don't know what happened and we just, let's hit legs anyway. No, this is an ongoing thing that we understand. So we have to test it. Okay, you might have this coming back again. It kind of comes in waves. Let's see where it's at. So we did some single leg extension. The reason we do single leg is because we can test the right leg compared to the left leg. The right leg was the issue. So if we're doing double leg, right, and this is true for anybody, regardless of injury, right? If you're only hitting double leg, double arm movements, squats, double leg leg extensions, things like that, barbell curls where it's not dumbbell but it's barbell, right? Anything where it's bilateral, both limbs are moving the weight. The strong arm, the strong leg is going to help the weak side, and everybody has a stronger or a weaker side, not just people with injuries, everybody, right? Because nobody is perfectly symmetrical in their muscular structure and system, right? We all have, lopsided stuff going on. Moms have a mom hip where they carry a mom, right? Athletes have a dominant side that for 15 years growing up we used, right, to get off the line in football or shooting or baseball. Everybody has weird imbalances. So everybody should be doing this anyway, but particularly during injuries or testing or deload or rehab, right? And so we did single leg extension starting with the right leg. The reason we start with the right leg, because we know that leg's going to quit before the left leg. So if we start with the strong leg, or in his case the left leg, that leg is going to do 2,500 reps, and this leg's going to do 2 reps, right? And so it's going to only further the imbalance because the strong leg is doing more and the weak leg is doing less. Turn the car, man, I'm sweating bullets. I want to get this video going. So we started with the weak side, tested it, and what we did was we played with his foot position. So it was his knee that was hurting. Let me turn that down. I'm also just a masochist. Hopefully the algo doesn't flag me for that, but I love pain and love suffering. So here I am in a hoodie, getting my run in, 100 degrees outside. So we started with the weak side. So that way we could see however many reps that does, the left side matches. It doesn't go past it, even though it can. That keeps the imbalance at bay, and it actually helps the imbalance get more symmetrical because the left side can do more, but we're stopping it on purpose, right? So we did single leg extension, and that's the first thing you can do if you're struggling, and should do anyway, irregardless, is work in more unilateral or single limb movements instead of bilateral or double limb movements, and start with the weak side always. Another thing we did was we played with his foot position. So his knee was what was hurting. So on the leg extension, most people just do their feet tracking their knees, right? So feet tracking their knees. What you can do is turn that toe out. So if you're on a leg extension, this is my foot, right? And the pad's here, and I'm, lifting the pad, right? Instead of having my foot here, if I turn my foot out and I turn those toes out, right? Now I'm getting the teardrop of the quad working more. So now when I hit that leg extension, I got my toes out, the teardrop of the quad is working a lot more than what it would be if I was just doing my toes straight up tracking against my knees, right? So turn that toe out. The other thing you could do is turn that toe in, right? So you turn your toes in, now you're getting the outer sweep of the quad. You're getting the outer sweep of the quad working a lot more than as if you had that toe straight up, right? So you can play with your foot position, right? And so if you're doing leg extension, right, and this is my foot, and I'm lifting that bar up and down, I'm gonna turn my toes out, I'm gonna turn my toes in. You're gonna feel a totally different part of the quad working. So based on his knee pain, right, let's see where the pain's at. And this is also gonna help inform his rehab when he does the physical therapy work, or if he does need surgery. So he turned it out and he turned it in, right? And turning out felt a lot better than straight or turning in. So that's information right there, right? That this is probably on the outside of his knee because he needs to use the inside of his knee and the inside of his quad more. So that's another thing you can do is play with foot position. It doesn't matter what the movement is. On push-ups, if you're having shoulder pain, right? And again, all of these things are, subjective. So based on where you're at, based on the pain, obviously, if it's an ongoing thing, consult your doctor, like all the disclaimers, right? But this is the wiggle room that you have to try to test things and feel things out. So if you're doing push-ups, and a lot of things, just like the unilateral stuff, you should be doing anyway. We should be testing our body in different angles and things, because that keeps us the most flexible and well-rounded and strong and healthy overall, right? Instead of bodybuilders that just move like this, right? And you get very, very constricted and very inflexible and prone to injury, right? So push-ups, move your hands out, right? Move your hands further out and see if that helps your shoulders. See if you get a better chest squeeze. You normally do. Move your hands closer in. And with that, tuck your elbows in. You're going to get more tricep work. See if that helps your shoulder. It usually does, because you're focused on the tricep, right? Or see if that helps your pec tendon. If your pec's sore, or something, you feel a little weird pain in your pec, get the shoulder and the pec out of it by tucking that elbow in and hitting more of a military push-up. That's what they call it, right? Military push-up. I don't know if they actually do those in the military, but so those are some things you can do, right? Play with your foot position, play with your hand position, move things. Don't stay in the same exact position all the time, and hit your unilateral movements. Those two things are very important. The third thing is just blood flow. We just got his heart rate up. We hit some battle ropes. We jumped on the bike. So blood flow helps everything. Blood flow is not a cure-all, but it is an aid-all. It helps everything. Blood flow is never a bad thing, right? And I'm not talking about unique circumstances where, I don't know, blood thinners, or I'm sure there's stuff where blood flow is a bad thing, right? In medicine. I'm talking about in training. I'm just talking about in mobility and performance and how the body functions. Blood flow lubricates the joints. Blood flow lubricates the muscles. Blood flow increases strength. Blood flow increases performance, right? That's why we have a pump. A pump is literally just blood flow, right? That's why all girls get a booty pump, and that's when they take the booty pic, right? Because the butt is bigger and the butt is capable of moving more and stronger, and just was optimized for performance and used to perform. The glutes are in their best performance position with maximum blood flow, and they look the best. No different than a bicep. That's why every guy throws on the tank top, gets their bicep pump, and then they snap the pic with the bicep vein, right? That bicep just lifted weight. It was primed to move. It's ready to perform. And little aches and pains that aren't serious injuries oftentimes do go away with blood flow. This is why it sucks to work out in the winter. And I hate running in the winter, because my knees hurt, because there's no blood flow, because everything's cold and all the blood's near my heart, and it's harder to warm up. This is why Planet Fitness sucks, because corporate sets their AC to like 68 degrees. It's too cold. I can't warm up. No one can warm up. I have to wear 2 hoodies, right? So blood flow, whatever little aches and pains, stretch it, move it, get some blood flow with any other body part you can use. So if you got a bum knee, like my client, we were doing battle ropes. The knee's stable. He got an amazing sweat, burned fat, and got blood flow in the knee, got blood flow through his whole body, because he's ripping battle ropes, right? So use what limbs and what mobility you have to get your blood moving. That is great for any rehab, any injury, anything you're being cautious or careful with. So unilateral movements, everybody should do, especially in rehabilitative states. Unilateral movements, playing with positions. Don't do the same thing the same way every single time, because that's going to make you inflexible and limited. Change things, okay? There's no rules, right? Have fun with your fitness, try new things, new angles, new contractions, new fibers being activated, and then blood flow. Always get as much blood flow as you can. Those are 3 things you can do to help with injuries, to help rehabilitative things, to be cautious with certain days of your training where you're not sure if something's hurting or something's wrong. Those are things I did with that client, but things I do with all my clients of all different ages and mobilities and injuries and things that happen. So building an episode 5 or 6, I think I'm losing track now, which is a good thing. Episode 6, my updates, since this is technically my vlog series, I just want to give you some value up front that I hope can help. But my updates is that maybe looking for that biggest investment fell through. Not fell through in a bad way. I just decided it wasn't a good fit. We found some new information in that investment, that real estate investment, that made it not a good deal. So it's a good thing we found that. That's the importance of due diligence, right? No matter what you're investing in. I don't care if it's a trainer, I don't care if it's a house, I don't care if it's a doctor, I don't care if it's education, I don't care if it's a school. Do your due diligence, right? Do your due diligence and make sure that that's the best investment for you. But doesn't mean my real estate hunt is done. Real estate's for life, and so I'm always looking for deals. Might be something in Indianapolis that might come through, and so I saw that virtually today, and that would be my first out of state investment. Would be super cool. I have Houston, Texas, but that would be my second out of state investment rather, and that would be super cool, right? And it would be the first one that I was completely active in every single part of the process, and I'm learning a lot. This would definitely be the one where I've learned the most in an out of state transaction, which is super cool. So yeah, super hyped, super excited, continuing to build that. Business is crushing, my job's crushing, you know, taking care of business on all levels. My fitness is doing good. Got a run today, 100 degrees and 90 degrees in my hoodie, just because I love to suffer. If you haven't done that, I recommend doing it. Throw on the hoodie, drink plenty of water, don't go pass out on me, but just go suffer and get a good sweat. Just do something that sucks to do it. The rest of your day, you'll feel better. Your self-respect goes up. It's an incredible thing. So get that done. If you haven't done it. And it doesn't have to be that type of suffering. I mean, a hoodie in 100-degree weather going for a run is a great type of suffering, but it could be anything, right? Just do something that sucks. Do something purposefully just because it sucks. Don't shove a nail in your hand, obviously. Do something hopefully with a benefit, like fitness, one of the best ways to suffer in a beneficial way, but could be something else. Could be at your work, or just push yourself in some way on a level that you don't normally, on a level that you haven't. And this is something I do every day in the summer. When I run, I always throw on a hoodie just because I want to sweat more and I want to just dig into the run, and blood flow, sweat, blood flow just lubricates the joints, and I just get, you know, in this incredible flow state and runner's high. But yeah, get on that if you haven't done that. Try that, and DM me on any socials and let me know what your suffering was, or what your suffering's been, and how you've been pushing yourself. And also real estate, if you have any questions, if anything I share ever helps you, then DM me, because I'm here to help, and I love those combos, and I'm growing my real estate. And like I said, I have you know, a property in Houston, which was awesome, which I was not nearly as invested and logical, and, you know, just logical is not the right word, aware, I guess. I just wasn't as good as I am now. So in buying that property, I was, you know, years ago, I was a lot less involved. I was a lot less aware, and I'm nowhere near the investor that I am today. And with this next out-of-state property, I've learned, just in this hunt, I've learned so much, so much. In the super big investment, I learned a lot, even though that was in California. So I'm constantly learning, and I'm getting so much better in this next investment, wherever it's going to be, whatever it's going to be, you know, as the market always changes. I'm learning every single day, and I would love to share that, and I will share that more in different videos where that'll be the value up front or at the back end or whatever. But if anything I say helps you, or if you're interested in getting into out-of-state real estate, I already have experience in that. I put myself into that in Texas in 2022, which has been great. But like I said, I was a lot more ignorant then, but I'm glad I did it. It's been a win. I've learned a lot. Now this is the next leap where I'm really going to take the next step, and then there'll be a next step. And I have real estate in my hometown in California, even though California sucks for real estate. So I would say stay away from California, because it's one of the top 3 worst states in America for rental property real estate. Doesn't mean you can't find deals, but overall laws and everything else just absolutely sucks. Rent control, everything. So tenants, not tenant quality, but tenant laws. There's just a lot of stuff that is not landlord friendly, and some stuff that is just downright dumb for the economy, for the tenant, for the landlord, for all parties involved. That is not tenant friendly either. Just dumb policies. So, but yeah, I'm out. We're gonna keep building. Thanks for watching this. I think it's the longest building empire yet. 14 minutes. Let's go. Hopefully you got some value from this. Subscribe. Hit me on all socials. Let's keep building. Let's go.